Hey Spice Harvesters, it's Airwingmarine here, your guide to all things gaming. Today we're diving into Dune Awakening, the open world survival MMO that's got everyone asking, should I drop my hard-earned Solari on this spice-induced fantasy or not? Now so far I've sunk about 140 hours into this game, mostly with a big guild, but I also did about a 15-hour solo playthrough to see how it holds up for lone wolves. So grab your still suit, avoid those worms, and let's break down the pros, cons, and whether this game is worth your spice stash or if it's another one you should pass on. Alright, let's start off with the good stuff, because Dune Awakening has a lot to love, especially for those first 80 to 100 hours. First off, there's an unbelievable amount to do. Whether you're rolling solo or with a small group of friends, we're talking quests, exploration, and enough sand to make your vacuum cleaner cry for mercy. The map is massive, and it's not just a big empty desert. Over half of it is worm-free, but it has points of interest scattered out through the whole thing. Things like hidden caves, towering cliffs, and verticality that makes parkour fans drool. It's like this Arrakis was designed by a free-running Freeman. The lore, oh, it's a chef's kiss. If you're a fan of the Dune book or movies, the game weaves that essence into every quest. It gets some of the detail that even casual fans may not understand, but it explains it and gives you so much to love about this universe. If you slow down and actually listen to the dialogue, you'll find stories that hit harder than a Sardakar's blade, plus some genuinely funny lines. I had many times where I actually laughed out loud with some of the NPC dialogue and one-liners they had. It really is good writing. And all of this makes the world feel alive. And let me tell you, the first time a sandworm bursts out of the ground because you stepped on its turf, it's heart-pounding. And then the first time it chases you, let's just say my still suit still needs a deep cleaning. Oh, no, no, this is not how it goes down.
It might very well be how it goes down.
Okay, send your party invite.
It might be.
His famous last words will echo through eternity.
Did you get the invite, Zach?
Now moving past that, combat is another win. Swords, knives, machine guns, pistols, they're all viable with dozens of skills to tweak your playstyle to fit whatever weapon you want to run and how you want to use it. If you want to be a blade-wielding Bene Gesserit, you've got it. A laser-toting trooper, it's there. Sniper assassin with turrets and shields, it's got it. The game gives you the ultimate freedom with its 5 classes, no restrictions. And it even has a reroll system every 2 days for free that lets you try new flavors if you get bored. And the progression is familiar for anyone who's played lots of MMOs, but it's fresh enough to keep it satisfying and keeps you guessing and wanting to learn more. And as you're going through the quests, there's a bit of bonus to them. It's not just a linear dialogue, go through the quests. Very often the dialogue has multiple paths to the same goal, but it lets you role play a little bit through Arrakis. It's not Skyrim level branching, but it's enough to give your choices an impact on how the dialogue progresses and how you feel like you're impacting the world. With that, the base building is also rewarding. There are lots of unique systems like land claims and taxes that all push uniqueness. And the fact you can build almost anywhere on the map means you can set up next to a busy trade hub or on a cliff face in the middle of nowhere. It's entirely up to you. It's a system similar to Satisfactory's with how it builds, but not with as much polish. It gets the job done and gives you tons of options for customization, but hopefully it gets some more polish and extended features, or should I say expanded features, as the game moves forward. Little things like the fact that you can't label anything or put signs up means things like guild storage is a nightmare. And on top of that, speaking of guilds, the permission system makes you want to pull your hair out. But these are all things that can be fixed, it's just stuff I noticed. The late game even has some awesome stuff to it as well. The experience of putting a big group together to harvest a spice field was hands down one of my favorite things I've ever done in a game. It took tons of coordination and planning with more effort than probably should put into a game, but watching that little Roomba drive around a spice field is definitely one of my top 5 gaming experiences. And on another side, the political system that is built into the game through the Lanzarad acts as a crazy kind of daily and weekly task system that impacts how the game world works. It's constantly refreshing and creates a huge competition for resources amongst everybody that's playing in their various servers. It's a really cool system, and it's going to provide a lot of replayability to the game at the end game in the future. And even if you're low level, you can partake. You don't have to be end game. But as we get into the cons, it might not be enough to keep up with what many other MMOs have out there as far as keeping players interested. But before we get into the cons, because yeah, Arrakis isn't all spice and sunshines, if you're enjoying this deep dive, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. It's like planting a thumper to summon more Dune content straight to your feed. And drop a comment. Are you hyped for Dune, or are you still on the fence? All right, let's get back to the sandy truth side of things. Now, let's talk about where Dune Awakening stumbles, especially in the endgame. I've seen both sides, big guild life and solo struggles, and the late game has some serious hiccups. First, PvP is, well, it's Care Bear PvP. It's fun when it happens, but there are so many ways to dodge fights and get away, people usually just end up cutting and running most of the time. PvP ends up being basically swarms of people picking on one player. And sometimes I was in the swarms, and sometimes I was that one player getting picked on. It just ends up being Ornithopter dogfights, which are cool, but feels more like Star Wars than Dune. Foot battles, rare unless you're role-playing a spice dispute. There's just not very many areas to get into those foot battles, and everything else pushes you into Ornithopters. And this is because of the mixed bag of the deep desert. It's over 500 square kilometers of, yep, that's sand. It's atmospheric for sure. Knowing that a worm could yeet you in the next week adds dread, but it pushes everyone into the Ornithopters. Ground gameplay takes a back seat, which is a shame because the swordplay is so good. And this endgame, even though it's here and you can go out there solo, it seems like it's pretty much just built for big groups, big guilds. Harvesting spice fields with a harvester requires, oh man, if I had to guess 600 or 700 hours of total gameplay just to get the equipment, and it might even be more than that. But even after you get the equipment to do it, you need a minimum of 3 people. But realistically, you're bringing 7 or 8 just so you can provide security. You go out there as a 3-man, you are insane and you're probably going to lose your gear. If you're a solo player or a small crew in the deep desert, you feel like a lone thumper in a worm stampede. And to add to all of this, there's technical issues. There's things like the render range. It's tiny. It's maybe a few hundred meters. It's so short that you're blind to enemies below you in an ornithopter if you're high enough. You could fly over a whole guild and not know it unless you're pretty much kissing their cockpit. This means you can fly around the desert and you could pass right by a whole squadron of people and never even know they were there. With this, the POIs also get repetitive. The research stations or labs, I'm looking at you. 14 of them in the Haga Basin, all pretty much the same. And some quests make you revisit them multiple times. It's like the game says, hey, you love that lab? Do it again. No game, I didn't love it. And I'm pretty much tired of it. And the travel can also turn into a bit of a slog. Ornithopters and fast travel between the outposts help quite a bit, but early on, you're schlepping across the map in a buggy or a bike just to talk to an NPC who says, cool, now go back to that last guy you talked to. And the AI, each has its own flavor, or each area anyways, but they're pretty much the same, and they're similar enough that you're not reinventing your strategy much as you move from area to area. It's not bad, it's just predictable. So, should you buy Dune Awakening? If you're a Dune fan or you love lore and the PvE side of this is really what you're into, especially for a survival open world game, the first 80 to 100 hours here are a blast. I really loved the lore. I went through all of it. I finished every task in the game. I've done them all. I went through every bit of it, and it was really, really enjoyable. It's some of the best quest dialogue and interactions with NPCs I've had in a long time. If this was just a PvE game by itself, it would be worth the buy. Solo players and small groups will eat it up for a long time. But if you're all about that endgame PvP or you want a solo-friendly late game, you might hit a wall. The guild-heavy focus and repetitive point POIs can dull the shine. And the Ornithopter meta might not be everyone's cup of tea. Wait, was I supposed to say cup of spice tea there? I think I was. My take, if you're cool with grinding through the early to mid game for that Dune vibe, it's worth the buy. If you're an endgame only player, maybe wait for a few patches to flesh out the PvP, add some content, or balance things a little bit better to where it's not just this heavy guild gameplay. Either way, Arrakis is calling, just watch out for those worms. But that's it for today. Let me know in the comments if you're jumping into Dune Awakening or holding off. You can follow me over on X at Airwingmarine1 for more gaming hot takes, and check out my other videos for tips, tricks, and more Dune goodness. I also stream on both Twitch and YouTube, so if you have any questions, you can always come ask me there. But until next time, keep your still suit tight and your spice flowing, and we'll see you in Arrakis.